manifesto, treatise, 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 manifesto. 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 Treatise, manifesto.
Is that enough time to ponder
Treatise,
on the word? On the two words.
manifesto. Treatise, manifesto.
Which word do you guys prefer?
Manifesto.
Treatise or manifesto?
Treatise, manifesto.
Personally, I think I'm a manifesto kind of guy.
Treatise,
Manifesto.
manifesto.
Yes.
Treatise, manifesto. Treatise,
Alright, I'll turn that off.
treat.
I'll turn him off. Hello. My goodness, wait. I was gonna say, did they all go in? Except for like one? But a couple more fell out. That's shitty. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not mad. I wanted to pull that ending up in the game, to get the audio to do it, and then like stuff started happening, and I was like, oh, okay, never mind. So I found it on YouTube, but I digress. Song's really good. So nice, I'll hear it twice. I don't care. It's 5 minutes long, so. But let's put on this instead. Oh yeah. All right. Let me go buy the paction. Oh, speaking of. Hello. Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, hopefully I exited the thing. They gave me a little dialogue. I opened up the game, and it asked me to input the time again. And I was like, didn't I input the time last time?
Oh God.
Well, I put it in, and they were like, I mean, I assume it was the narrator, but he was like, before we start, I just want to say something. Thank you for actually inputting the time both times that I asked you to do that. Most people don't do that. Most people just leave it at 12 and go on with their day. Because it's like, it doesn't have any actual bearing on anything. I don't even know if that's the correct time. I just appreciate that you went through the effort to change the time to something. And he was like, you know what? Next time you open the game, put your favorite time. Put your favorite time. And I won't even know. So then,
Oh my God.
that was what I thought. But it was all via text. But, and then I like wanted to walk over to the new content, and then like other stuff started happening, so I was like, okay, never mind. I just closed the game. So hopefully, I didn't really miss anything. There was a sign, and then he was like, hey, there's more shit over here, and I was like, cool. So
Yeah.
so there's more than just the two branching paths that we saw, I suppose. So let's just jump right into it.
Yeah.
No reason not to. Except for that, my music froze. Now there's no reason not to.
Remember to screen share to me when you can.
Yeah, give me a second. This game
Hello,
wants
Cherry.
my attention so bad. Hi, Cherry. Whenever it opens up, even if I'm like doing other stuff, it like moves my cursor to be the next, like for that window. And I'm like, I'm doing other shit, man. Calm down. But it's alright. So what is my favorite? Oh, I know what my favorite time has to be. Let me adjust this so I can see chat real quick. And it's just
My personal favorite is 2:30
AM or PM?
a.m.
Why?
Yeah, you'll find out.
Ah, 4:20 a.m. Your favorite time of day, specifically because there's one Griffin McElroy vine where he's like driving super early in the morning, supposedly, and it zooms in on the clock in the car, and he's like, "Oh my God, there's a 4:20 a.m. too." Or could you simply not resist giving me the correct time again? No, it's not the correct time. I put in my favorite one for you. After all, I know how much you enjoy setting the time correctly. Okay,
Yeah.
now I'm curious to see how accurate 4:20 a.m. is. Let's use another slider to find out how accurate. Oh, not accurate at all. Like not accurate at all.
No.
You know, can I just say, regardless of the accuracy of the clock, I'm having a great time adjusting these settings. I feel like I'm learning more about you and how you like things to be set. It's good to collect data. I wish we had more sliders, but we've gone through all the sliders I have. Perhaps I can invent some new sliders to gather new data on you. Shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, let me whip a couple new ones up. Should be ready by the next time you boot up the game. Okay. Maybe we'll do one ending, and then instead of starting from the first thing, we'll close the game and come back. See what he has for us.
Yeah.
I just had fish for dinner. Some salmon.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single
Is it
difference.
4:30 or
Nor
4:37?
did it advance the story
I think
in
4:30.
any way. Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
Okay.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly.
Almost
50 clicks.
I just assumed settings text guy and the narrator were the same guy, because there's only like 2 characters in this game.
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for
I
valiant
understand.
effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley.
Yeah,
I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
Hold on, I'll be right back. 417. 417.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
Okay. Rise and grind, Stanley. Where's your anger? Where's your rage?
No, 437.
Oh.
4:30.
Excellent.
Yes.
I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
Gotcha. See, this was the sign that I saw.
Oh my God.
The new content.
Now, back to door number 437.
Going.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine.
The copy
All right,
machine.
back to room 417.
Yes.
I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere. Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
419.
Is that this way? No, it's not.
Oh, you're there.
Yes!
Yes.
This is great! You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
Where's
don't.
Where's door 416? Is this supposed to be it?
No.
Where's 416? This is 417. And that's 415. Would this not be 416?
Try it. No, it's not working.
Where's 416? Did we do all this for nothing?
No.
No! This can't be. Where's 416? What? Did they take away door 416?
Oh, good.
No,
noticed
I
my
don't.
sign.
I noticed the
Oh.
sign
I
earlier.
have something very exciting to show you.
Fine. We'll do your new oh, here it is.
We've almost made it. Now the copy machine do that.
Okay, alright, okay, I'm
Oh
going,
my
I'm going,
fucking
right, I'm going.
God.
I'm almost there.
Finish it off, Stanley. 5 clicks on door 430. Yes! We did it!
Yes! Ah! Yes!
You really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today.
I am too.
Just think, only a few minutes ago, you believed an achievement was worth 5 little clicks. Really now, what were you thinking?
You're so right. Let's just put this memory behind us.
Yeah.
Let's go in here. Let's do the newest stuff.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Whoa.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly
my fucking
re-release
God.
with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience,
Upgraded the computers.
built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there.
Sure.
It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Don't make too many, though. 1. More TSP. 2. Better TSP. The first ever
1.
Stanley Parable NFT.
Oh. The color red.
I think the narrator would do NFTs, but only because he didn't know what they were. Like someone told him he could make a lot of money off of it, and he was like, "Great, this is a great business practice." And then he finds out what their deal actually is, and he feels terrible.
This looks like a like if this looks like a WeWork space, but
Oh my
Halloween
God.
mode.
Stanley Parable too. I like that. That's actually really fun. I like that the other guy's not really doing anything.
Yeah.
Just staring at the wall.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be.
It's
Let's
the
take a look at some
sequel.
of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Yeah.
Sequels are good. Portal 2, Half-Life 2, Batman Arkham Asylum 2, City, Divinity Original Sin 2, Doom 2, Aladdin 2, Return of Jafar, Dark Souls 2,
Minecraft 2.
Crab, the ultimate sequel. That's pretty good.
One of the mugs just says, "Who farted 2?"
Like Netflix or Marvel kind of
Yeah.
font, you know what I mean?
Is that a new content bus?
Can I get on it? Nope. I love Comic-Con.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Exclusive. The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Here, name in the game. Okay.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim.
Now, okay, imagine if you were playing this and your name actually was Jim.
Oh, that would have fucked me up.
That would have been like, what? That's amazing! $5,000.
But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role play as Jim
Okay,
to
okay.
really simulate the
I already
full
started
experience
a
of
little
this
bit.
feature. Just
Yeah,
play along.
yeah.
I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep
Okay,
breath,
okay.
clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply
Okay.
become a person named Jim.
Let me
I want you
reapproach.
to imagine
Let me
yourself
reapproach.
living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust.
Naturally.
Do you
No.
feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
Yes.
If so, then please step forward and press the button.
Yes. I actually know a guy named Jim in real life.
Oh.
He loves golf. He has 3 daughters. He, I think his marriage is falling apart.
Rephrase all of those as I sentences.
Yes, okay. My name is Jim. I love golf. I have 3 daughters, and my marriage is falling apart.
That's exactly what we need.
This is exactly what Stanley Parable Twitter roleplays are like. This
all
is
right, all right, all right.
Hey, are we
Now-
just individually roleplaying as Stanley and the narrator?
I suppose, yeah.
All right. My name is Jim. 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 Whoa, look, a button that says a name of the person that's playing it. That's crazy. Let's try it out.
Jim.
Oh my god!
See? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The button described you. Do it again.
That
do
was
it
me.
again.
Okay, wait.
Jim.
It's even harder the
Oh my
second
God.
time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money.
It would.
Take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
I can't jump, so I have to do that.
Yeah.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much, Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away.
No, that's my
Otherwise, soon
job.
you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
Jim.
Oh.
I got 4 more gems out of it.
Mhm.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes you can be a little too Jim, but who am I if not Jim? I've forgotten my past, just like he told me to.
A true method actor.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable too. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
You heard Jim in the game.
Please, no screenshots. I'm gonna screenshot it. Done. Fuck you.
Oh my fucking god. Oh my god.
Schween shaders? What is Schween?
Then
Jump circle. Well, we had a jump circle.
Well, that was an Ultra Deluxe. This is 2.
That's true. That's true. You heard Jim in the game. They changed it.
Yeah, yeah.
Merch. Reassurance bucket. That's a merch. I saw the new content.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday.
Happy 12th
Which
birthday.
would you go with?
Well, this game came out when I was 12, the original, so.
No,
Happy 12th birthday.
Turn around. Oh, never mind.
Oh.
It's this.
Stepniece.
Japanese.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is.
Yeah, that's fair. I had the same thought when I pressed the button. I was like, well, I kind of like the...
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
No, I understand
Come
completely.
now. You've already made your choice. It's true that you chose badly, but we all have to move on from our mistakes.
Are you saying that to me or to you? What's over there?
Oh, it's...
Isn't that the whole emoji?
Yes. Someone's telling me that this hole is infinite.
Something tells me I should see this later. Because I might not be able to come back. I also want to check out this free new and easy achievement.
Yeah.
Because the last one we got was super hard, so... Pull the lever, receive a new achievement. No more steps. It just works. Alright.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise...
Gamers, we hear you. Babe. I think it's not gonna work.
I just think if I hit it hard enough, maybe I'll...
No. This hasn't been implemented. It hasn't been implemented.
But it's here! I'm a hacker. I know how to do this. Damn it. It's really impenetrable.
What else?
Oh, yeah,
What
there's a
other
bit of a hole.
exhibits haven't we seen yet?
That's a
Collectibles.
new.
That's new. Can you find them? Collect them all.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them.
So you are doing
Ideal to
NFTs.
stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up, you simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Wow.
I love this. This is beautiful.
Oh my, this is intense.
Can someone? I guess I can screenshot it. I was gonna say, I want to like edit the figurine to be something else. Like that could be a good meme format.
Mm-hmm.
Let me save this on my Discord. Hello, Stanley.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
All right.
Wow.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Oh, I see. Okay, we've seen the map, obviously. We've seen the free achievement. We've seen the button. We've seen the merch. Settings World Champion. We haven't seen the bucket. Okay, there's a couple things. We haven't seen the jump circle, the bucket, the epilogue, or the infinite hole. So, bucket is... Where's the bucket? What's this? Oh, here's the jump circle.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well.
You're right.
Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw
I
the
didn't
jump
think I'd
circle.
have another
Oh.
chance.
Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
I didn't know. Otherwise, I would. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure? Alright, if you say so. Okay, here's the reassurance bucket. I'm gonna need it right now because, man, I'm depressed.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Alright, I'm eager.
Can you feel it? The glow of
I thought that was
comfort,
the bucket.
even in the face of crushing
yeah.
despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well?
Thank you.
I
It's a
think
very
that just holding
charismatic bucket.
it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they?
It's true.
All this and more awaits you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Alright, let's go.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Narrator loves buckets. He thinks it is so hot. He's a homestuck. That's right, I said it. That's right, I said it, and I'll say it again. He's a homestuck. He's a homestuck. Okay.
He's a homestuck.
No! Okay, do the jump circle, do the map, do the achievement, did the button, merch. Where's hashtag? Oh, I see. Settings world champion. Did the bucket, did the decorations. Where's epilogue? Epilogue? Over here? I guess epilogue is the exit.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's try the infinite hole.
Yeah.
Buckets are a homestuck thing. I thought you knew that because you said it was hot.
Yeah.
Did we do this? Oh, yeah, we did this.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Can I put the bucket down? I don't want it to get hurt.
Yeah.
I can't.
Damn.
Alright, you're coming with me, Bucky.
Whoa.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Now, I don't mean to be a
The reverse
but I
shepherd's
do
stone.
recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever.
This is just like Lila's well.
I think the issue
Or Lily's
is
well,
just
sorry.
that you're
Lily's well.
unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely?
Listen, I did it by
I
accident
figured the
yesterday.
hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem.
What? You always do this.
Look,
My God.
things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean.
I didn't say anything
Why
I didn't
don't we
mean.
just put all this behind us and agree to just call the whole mostly infinite?
No, it's fine.
If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
No. I'm sitting.
Mhm.
I'm sitting, I'm gouchy. I'm angry. Don't talk to me, I'm angry. Okay, fine.
Great. I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
But what if I...
Oh, That's right. The problem is you.
You're the
The
problem.
problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of...
That was shorter.
Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time?
Yeah.
I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole.
Stanley the
I didn't
narrative
think it was
divorced like
that
5
wonderful.
times.
Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above.
Okay.
Had enough? I'm positively thrilled.
Is the hole
I
smaller?
really do have so much more to show you and to talk about, and I've had enough of the hole for a lifetime. Gosh, you're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow, okay, yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability in marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter.
That's what I've been doing.
Well, there it is.
Oh.
The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but it's barely even a hole at this
It's kind of a
point.
divot.
How is this
Yeah.
still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch.
I can't even get out.
Who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
I'm at the surface. It's not working.
The teleport button not working?
It's not.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago.
I'm in your
Try
pit
again.
now, dude. It doesn't
Still
work.
nothing. Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix
Can
this.
you pick me up?
I'm out.
What?
Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone.
If I
You
had
get to
saved
be
one
with
of my
the hole,
jumps.
I get to do literally anything else.
Oh.
Take care, Stanley.
Oh,
I hope
you.
you and the hole
Oh,
have a
you.
wonderful rest of eternity.
Come back! Asshole. Ugh. I hate that guy. What's the noise?
Why are there strings playing? Oh!
Oh, 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 oh.
Holy shit.
Help. Goodbye, surface. At least I still have you, Bucket.
Yeah.
Change your perspective. Whoa!
Holy shit. Thank you for doing it to the beat. Oh. Oh my god. Oh yeah. We love generative music. Whoa.
I like this one.
Whoa. Oh my god.
Oh my god. What the?
Now it's stronger. Now you're no longer using your discretion.
Stanley? Stanley! Stanley! Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off. Going away into dreamland. But we can't have that,
Oh my
Stanley.
god.
Because this hole is just so darn
I timed
fascinating
that
that I
perfectly.
want you to be wide awake for every second. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you
Oh
up
my
to
god.
keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole. And I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
Mhm.
Thank you. We going back down?
Oh yeah. Come on.
What's it loading? Ah!
Oh.
Boo! That was the best part of the game so far.
Go on, try out some of the new features.
I'm glad we saved that for the last, because that was amazing.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here. Taking you with me, Bucky.
Mhm.
Spelled differently from Andy's Bucky. It's Buckie.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Whose bag? Why is this very dictatory? I don't like that.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features?
I do.
Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment.
Okay.
I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
Casey, please don't spoil anything. Even if it's vague,
Yeah.
no, don't say shit.
Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Ooh.
I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold
Looks
on.
like a game.
Let me do a different arrangement.
Yeah.
You put the numbers back on the thing.
Yes, this is much better. I feel good about this.
Okay.
Here we go. Version 2.
Ooh, there's two
Who am I
achievements
kidding,
now.
Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very
Oh.
much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course.
Okay.
With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work?
But isn't that
Suppose
just
it could, but it would
Ultra
need
Deluxe?
a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Ooh,
Ooh.
it's a little spooky. Yeah, there's something I don't like about this. It's
It's
either the
much-
red lighting or how like horribly curved everything is. Like you can't quite see everything that's gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah. It's a little too much.
If it was different lighting, it would be really cool. It would be mysterious.
Mm-hmm.
Let's check out the settings. Oh, these are all the settings, same settings.
Yeah.
All right. Is it just like that now?
This is the story of a
Is this
man
the same?
named Stanley.
Well, let's see.
Stanley worked for a company in a big
Yeah.
building where he was employee number 427.
Uh-huh.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
He was.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Am I back at
Stanley
the...
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
the bucket?
Yeah.
You come on,
Stanley
me.
picked up the bucket. Stanley pressed the bucket upon every little thing in the office. Nothing responded to the bucket's touch, but it did little to discourage Stanley's belief in the magic of the bucket.
Mm-hmm. There's a balloon here.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Was it?
Crushed by the weight of this
2, 8,
revelation,
5, 4?
Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing presence of the bucket.
Yeah.
Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it.
Okay.
The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it the bucket knew all along?
Of course.
Was the bucket guiding him?
It was.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is certainly the most logical explanation. The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate.
Ray
It would be
tracing on
all
this bucket
Stanley
is
could do to
insane.
keep himself together,
Yeah.
if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Okay.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Both of us are wondering. This is the bucket parable now.
Yeah.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machine
This is fucking me up
would
so
never
bad.
again
I hope
exert
Bucket
its
is okay.
terrible power
I love it my whole
over
life.
another
The bucket would
human
kill me and I would thank it.
For he and the bucket would dismantle the control.
We've done it, boys.
Yeah.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness.
Uh-huh.
Was it over? Yes, they had done it.
We've both
Stanley
done
and
it.
the bucket had defeated their greatest
Yes.
and darkest enemy. Freed
Capitalism.
themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live.
What do you
once
wanna
they
live,
stepped through
Bucket?
this massive door. The
What do you want
Bucket
your life
wanted
to be
learn
like,
to
Bucket?
roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every place on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end.
I see.
True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together.
Of course.
One another to lean on, to trust, to support, and...
But
What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped?
why the door
Was
stop?
Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed?
No. Impossible.
Unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave.
No.
Even
Only
the facility
Stanley?
itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket.
Oh my
Needed
God.
the soothing warmth of the bucket. Would go to any lengths.
Oh.
The bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms.
Oh my God.
Not while this building has anything to say about it.
Oh my God.
Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I?
Yeah.
Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
All right.
Wow.
That's the bucket ending, I suppose. And now I guess it's just like this forever.
Oh, wow.
Now I guess there's just
Oh, the
balloons
balloons
here
are...
for good.
Oh, there are
All of
balloons.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
My God.
Stanley decided to go
Is
to
there
the
different
meeting.
dialogue for
Perhaps he
every
had
ending
simply
with the
missed
bucket?
memo.
No.
That's insane.
No. Surely that can't be. Come here.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the
No.
bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct?
Yes.
Was this better than the meeting room? No. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him.
Should we listen to the
It
bucket?
alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact.
Should we
He
jump?
was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him.
I
and he
would.
unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
No, too late.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick
Hold
up
on
the
a
phone,
second.
And it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
Hold on a second. I'm catching on to something here. Is this not really the bucket talking to me? Is this the narrator doing a voice for the bucket so he can get me to do things that he wants me to do again?
Oh, no.
No, I can't do that. I can't be doing that. We gotta disobey.
No.
Oh, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone?
Cause I'm
Were
onto
you
your
trying to
I'm onto
resist
your
the
shit.
bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to
Yeah,
you
of course
and
it
telling
isn't.
you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke. Don't you get
I
the
took
joke?
it
It's
very
funny,
serious.
Stanley.
I
A
took it
talking
very
bucket.
seriously until now. I believed
Can't
you.
see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took this
How
seriously.
dare
Wait,
you
I
mess
missed
with
the
me like
joke.
this?
Should I have
It's not a
paused
joke. You
for
were toying with my
longer
emotions.
Or spoken quicker. Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right there.
I was kind of
Let's
hoping he
take a
would just
look.
get cut off by the video.
What is comedic
Oh my
timing?
god.
What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds?
I don't know, but the clock's
Thankfully,
ticking.
the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing.
Okay.
To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh.
Okay.
And then, spell out your name a second time. With these steps
Slower
complete,
now.
it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half,
Gotcha.
pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
Baby, do it.
I'm Dunny with the funny.
Good.
Oh, I stuttered.
This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys.
Okay.
Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long.
Gotcha.
And should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in
This is
laughter
the worst
any
art
which
I've
way
ever
over
seen.
laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, with each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threatened our very existence, and to very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
My God.
Wow.
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it?
Outdated?
Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the 2 doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come on, let's head back.
That's fair.
All right.
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A
right.
talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept.
I mean, it was, but
The
I took
king
it
of
seriously
comedy.
because
That's
you
what
had
you'll
really
call me.
emphasized
Thank goodness we had the
how
instructional
much
video. Otherwise, who
how much
knows
that
where
bucket
we'd
meant
be
to me,
right
you
now.
know?
Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley. The bucket spoke.
I just feel like you're mocking me at this
bucket
point.
spoke.
It feels a little
I'll figure it out on the
mean-spirited.
fly. No need to overthink things.
It's fine, I'll go back.
Hey, let him develop his material.
I just don't think this joke is particularly funny. I think you should work on more stuff aside from just the bucket talking joke.
Well, okay, I guess sucks that comedy is over now. I guess we can't make jokes anymore.
No, you can make jokes. I just don't think that particular one
Here
is
we
very
go.
funny.
You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Shit, I meant. Whoa.
What? We're back at the phone already. No, what's going on? There was supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point, a dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land, or not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the 2 doors room.
It doesn't.
What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm
No,
not
you're
even
just
the
getting used
lowliest
to it.
joke-telling whelp. I think...
Like, you don't deserve King of Comedy yet because you're new to it.
think
But
I need to go back
Maybe
to
Prince
what
of
yeah, maybe like Duke of
Surely
Comedy.
That will help me improve my...
well, it's gotta have alliteration.
Yeah.
Here we go. You ready? When
Duke of
Stanley
Ding
and the
Dong
bucket
Ditches.
came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Prince of Pranks.
There we go.
What? We're back at the phone already? No.
Oh.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Well, now I
No,
wanna know.
we're gonna have the same result.
Are you sure?
Yes.
What?
Okay.
We're back at the phone already? No.
Okay. I thought it was gonna be like different each
Here we
time.
go. You ready?
I'm ready. All right.
When Stanley
Here we
and the
go.
bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
All right.
No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right,
What?
leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional
No, but
video?
you told
I
me-
think this is
Oh.
all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault.
Oh, it's my
Stanley.
fault? Really? You're gonna
I'm
do
going
this
to be
again? Oh my
ridiculed in
god.
the community
Oh
of
my
other joke
god.
writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings.
This
from
is why
now
we got a
on.
divorce
All
4
because you
times
couldn't
already.
Watch a simple video and take
The fact
a
that you're
hint.
not
Are
walking
you proud
forward
of
is
yourself for
frustrating.
putting me down, Stanley. Are you proud?
Oh.
Fuck you. Not you.
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you. It's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes. Let me try that again, Stanley. I know that you are pale with shame because of how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No?
That one, yeah.
Is it the delivery? Pale with shame. Pale with shame.
I mean, people usually say that phrase.
Pale.
So it's
What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so metal, I just want to play guitar. No. We're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is. That will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos.
I'm sure.
Let's see.
Oh, it was good. That was like a better ending to the
Wow,
that
yeah.
ending. I gotta pee.
All right.
You want to entertain the masses while I'm gone? Shit!
Yeah.
I forgot about time.
What?
I forgot about Tarman.
Oh yeah.
Chad is so confused. I can't resist the window. I'm laughing too much. Hold on, I just gotta. Hold on. Let me just. Okay,
There we
now Impaction Show is on. Go.
Man, we gotta have fanfare. We're gonna have drums, horns, trumpets, crumpets, all sorts of instruments playing all at the same time. It's the Paction Show. If only I had my co-host Darman with me. Unfortunately, Darman couldn't make it after a brutal and disturbing and sexy snowboarding accident. Darman, unfortunately, is in the hospital for 21 dog years. That's 7 whole minutes. Paction plays Sunless Skies. Is that a song or a game? Let me look it up. It's a video game. Sunless Skies. Ah, I believe I've seen something like this. Gothic horror roleplay game. Yes. Steampunk, Lovecraftian. I see what you're picking up when you're putting down. On Juno stream, play Sunless Skies. You know what would suck about that, playing this specific game? First of all, it seems like a very text-heavy RPG. So it would simply just be me sort of reading to you guys what's happening. Paction, you have to destroy your computer instantly. You got it. I will end your... Oh my god. There's so many games to play. I got what's the skeleton game? Skeleton with the skeletons, and it's all the Day of the Dead themed, and it's your play as a Paction, get that boulder. Ah, it's gonna crush me. Help. Katana Zero. No, not Undertale. It's the game with the skeletons, Day of the Dead theme. The guy is selling death packages to people who have just died. He's the Grim Reaper. Grim Fandango. Oh my god, that took me way too long. Not Coco. There's that. There's Transistor, which has one of my favorite game soundtracks of all time. I still haven't played the game, but the soundtrack's awesome. Transistor. There's Katana Zero. Yeah. Also Bones, or whatever that game was called. Hold on. Bones, the game? I looked up Bones game, and there's not much. There just isn't much. Mr. Bones is a multi-genre video game conceptualized by a name I can't pronounce, developed by Zono, and published for the Sega Saturn. What the hell? Hold on. Did we just stumble upon? Have you guys heard of Mr. Bones? Holy shit! I was just about to say, like, did we just stumble upon something that no one has thought about for years? But this looks awesome. What the hell? 1996. God. Ah, Vinny. Vinny's played all the games. Okay. Peng, to be fair, I typed in Bones game, and then I had to scroll down to where you would select the second page of Google, but right above that was Mr. Bones. Okay. I see how this is. I think Vine Sauce, all aren't there multiple Vine Sauce boys? I know there's Vinny. There's other ones too, right? Or am I tripping? But they've played like all the games, like every single game. There's at least 3. Yeah, I had a feeling. How many Vine Sauce boys are there? Oh my god. Oh Jesus. There's 13. That's too many. That's too many. That's like a streamer house. 13 Vinny boys. That's too many. Team 100 or whatever it was called, but it's Vine Sauce. Team 10, yes, that was Jake Paul's team, I suppose. It's incredible how long content houses last, and that is to say that they last maybe 6 months. 6 months to a year. Vangers, you say? Is a racing role-playing game. A racing role-playing game developed by KD Lab, a Russian company. Huh? Released in 1998. It's got fucking weird particle bugs. I still can't get over a racing RPG. I'm looking at the gameplay right now. That's insane. I haven't seen anything like this. Like, the closest my brain is approximating this to is the Neverhood, but that's like not even that. This is bizarre. Okay, adding it to the wish list, I guess. Revenge of the in physics. Yeah, it's got particle bugs in physics driving. Revenge of the Sunfish. Revenge of the Sunfish.
I'm back.
Yay, you're back.
You didn't pay attention to my ass problems.
Oh, I saw your ass problems.
You didn't say anything.
Oh, I didn't know what to say.
Could have called my
What was I
doctor.
supposed- What you? I don't know your doctor's phone number. You do.
I guess that's true. But for real, I am experiencing anal pain for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't know, I've been prone to like getting gas in my like
Mm-hmm.
my not to be like TMI, but occasionally lately I've experienced gas in my lower regions and it's bad. But then I
Yeah.
fart and it's fine. So I'm imagining that I was like, okay, I gotta poop a little, so I just like sat there for a minute, and like only a little bit came out, so I was like expecting more to happen. And then I think I just took it too far, and then air got in, and now I have gas in my ass.
Damn.
So now you all know that.
That's why they call it the ass. It's because it's like gas,
Yeah.
but without the G.
Exactly. But then I fart and it's fine. Exactly.
G stands for gangster.
Gangster ass. All right, let's explore
All
some
of
more
his
new
co-workers
content.
were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What the?
How many bucket endings do we have to get?
But I wanted to see more of the new content. I missed the bucket, but do I need the bucket to see the new content?
I think so.
Oh, input. There we go.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
But I wanted to see. Oh.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here.
I don't want this to be the
Stanley
only
needed
thing
the
we have
bucket's
left to
warmth
do.
and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find out. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends?
No, that's
That
too
your
much.
relationship is purely superficial and convenient?
No, that's
that
too
your
far.
life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which
How
happened to lay in
dare
your path
you.
in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared.
You know
together.
what? I
Go
will.
through each of them point by point.
You know what?
Share
Well,
your
give me a
journal
chance.
entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years.
You gotta give me a
Let him
chance.
have it.
Yeah, okay, you know what? I think you, the broom closet, played Portal once, and you were like, oh, companion cube, I get it, everything that,
I've
oh.
got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate. No more
Fuck you,
discussion.
broom closet.
Take a hike, broom
Yeah.
closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things. All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate.
Let me see it. Ooh.
See?
Ooh.
I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself,
Yes,
ah,
that is
it's
a bucket."
There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
Okay, nothing.
You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us a silent treatment.
I know.
And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display.
You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Anything else? Alright.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Upstairs or downstairs?
I don't know.
Cherry wants to go downstairs.
Okay.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fined for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He
I mean,
looked
I'm
down
talking
at
to
the
a
bucket in his
bucket.
arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone
Listen to the
else's
music.
bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him. Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket. Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket. Come to me, Stanley. Find
Ah!
He had to find the bucket. He
Oh
had to
my
return
God.
to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. On this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was.
He didn't have a bucket.
This man
Yeah, exactly.
had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself.
Heck yes.
My life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
With the bucket, of course. Here's the thing, I kind of am hoping that there's more to this new content than the bucket,
Yes, me too.
because it's fun, but it feels like a parody of itself,
Yeah.
you know? I would like to see more original stuff. I guess this is
All of his
technically original,
co-workers
but
were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
should I look it up?
I'm looking it up right now.
Alright. Tell me how to break myself out of this bucket loop.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think
We
an
got it
achievement is
though,
worth?
didn't we?
Yeah, I did. I just did it again for
I
fun.
can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
Is there also the little collectibles? I don't remember that be. Oh yeah, I guess that existed, but I didn't see any.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause.
Oh,
Perhaps
my
50
stickers are
clicks
on
will
it.
do Yes,
Oh,
almost
yeah.
certainly 50 clicks. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
They're hidden around the place. Alright.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
Okay, so it seems like a lot of the new content are bucket endings, but the bucket endings aren't just
worth it being
slight
here in the room.
reframes. Some of them are a
So
bit more
utterly
than that.
captivating
Okay.
that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously
Guide me
vanished,
guide me
here
towards
you
them.
sit looking at these chairs.
Well, just do other endings again, but with the bucket.
Well, I know, but you said that some of them were like different, so.
Oh no, I have to skim through the.
Alright, you don't
ZDVD
have to. I'm
later.
sorry. What if I just quit the game and come back? I said we wanted to do that anyway, because
Yeah.
there's stuff that happens when. He said he'd have more settings for me, so.
Yeah. You better be like stick sliders.
Yeah, I was gone for a while, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, hold on. There's like 10 sliders, don't worry. Alright, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Let me screen share to you again. Okay. So the computer is barely visible. Until the dog and cat are friends. Okay.
Mm.
Please adjust the slider until the number 5 becomes the number 9. Okay. That's the number 9, technically.
There it is.
Actually,
well,
wait,
never
there's
mind.
3 9s here. I want to be a dipshit.
Well, that's
and do this
it
then.
has. Oh, never mind.
Please adjust the slider until you stop adjusting the slider. Okay. Which of the two made-up words below is more appealing to you? Well, I saw Aki Boinkle and I was like, that's a good contender. And then my eyes panned over to Scrumtush and I just got a smile on my face immediately. So
Oh my god.
I'm just gonna, but I do really like Aki Boinkle, so I'm gonna make it like mostly Scrumtush, but please don't adjust the slider. Okay. Do you know what time it is right now? Yes. Is the time that it is right now the correct time? I'm pretty sure. What is time anyway? No.
No.
Is there anything about yourself you haven't told me? Plenty of things. Help. Okay. Will you come back to visit me? Yeah. Damn it. Same creepy opening. Let's do this again. Now I'm intrigued about this
Yeah.
starting menu guy. Hold on, I'll screen share you again. What time is it? Does anyone really truly know? Of course they don't. Nobody knows anything. You and I don't even know each other. We're like strangers. Well, I think we're becoming friends. Sure, I've adjusted all the game settings to your exact specifications, but who hasn't? My god. It's just what I do, like a day job. And now, the job is over. There's no more information for me to gather. I've collected all the data on you that I can. And that's not true. You haven't even asked my favorite color yet.
Yeah.
And I still don't really know you. And you don't know me. Neither of us know what time it is. Man, this is poetry. I guess some settings are just unsettable. But if I'm being totally honest, the clock doesn't do anything in the game anyway. You won't have me here when the game starts next time, but that's okay. No! Video games are meant to be played alone, but I'm literally streaming right now. You like being alone, don't you? I don't. That's maybe the only information I really learned about you. I came back immediately just for you.
Yeah.
Don't leave, please. There's still one more setting that we need to adjust, but it may take a little time before I'm ready for that. It's not really in my job description, but that's okay. Perhaps you'll see me again if you can find me. Talk soon. But... Aww. Oh. I want to see the guy. I want to see him again. We're doing it again. If it doesn't come up this time, then I'll just do other shit. But I need to know what happens.
Yeah.
Ah, despair. Oh.
He said it might be a while, so.
It might be a while. He might come back someday, but I'm not ready to live without him. All right. That's fine.
This is the story.
Yeah, that's the story of a man named Stanley. I need my bucket.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Make sure you collect the bucket.
What happens if you take bucket outside of the map? Well, let's find out.
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone? Yes, whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear. We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self. The bucket began to tell Stanley of its
Whoa.
life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed,
Wow.
desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans,
Oh.
and the bucket's own complicity therein.
My goodness.
Of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay,
Wow.
if only it had been stronger. Of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley.
What are you talking about?
He screamed.
You're a bucket!
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow.
No,
Said the bucket.
No.
not since the evil wizard Gambhorata
Jesus
first ensnared
Christ.
me in his machinations as payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back
Stop
then
trauma
and
dumping
could
on
not
me.
conceive the ramifications of no.
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid. You are a bucket. This is so stupid. Why are we even doing this?
As Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like...
What the hell?
My God.
Oh my
Stanley,
God.
You did it. You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power. Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless. You've demonstrated such bravery here today. Come, let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic cast away inside of it.
Is the bucket still
All of
there?
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Bucket's still there. So I can elect to bucket if I want to.
Yeah.
No new content door again.
Yeah.
Well, what the hell? Hold on. I gotta look at a fucking walkthrough now.
Mhm.
Is that truly it? Are they all bucket endings? Huh? Okay. I need to find. I think we should do the collectibles ending.
Okay, okay.
Let's find. Hold on. I gotta find where the thing is on here. Damn you, IGN.
Mm-hmm.
Collectibles ending. Okay. Jesus Christ. Collect the basement minifigure. It's one of several that can be found by taking the left door when you... Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna really
When
go
Stanley
through
came to a
this.
set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
You should have done it all in one stream. I don't think the game will have enough for a full stream today. I think so. For another hour? Yeah. Or almost another hour, yeah.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands?
Mini
Stanley
stands.
figs. Oh, what about Stanlerines? Yes.
That's
I think
the
I
worst
like
one.
that.
Yeah.
Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Yeah, you can go in the bathroom.
Sometimes.
Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes. If the boss has suffered losses, then that's what the boss chose. If you say so. Okay.
Scanning IGN.
Stanley
Becoming
came to his manager's
misogynistic.
office. He was stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming new age music.
I wonder if, when it comes to speedruns, if it's faster to do this or let him finish.
It's definitely not faster to do this.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated,
Maybe.
Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
There it is.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Of course. I gotta go back though, so. Oh, okay, it's just dark.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Figurine Finders Committee meeting today in the meeting room.
Ooh.
Okay. Can't get past 2 on those things.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Well, we won't be
This
going
was
there.
not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
I guess I could.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first,
Not gonna kill me.
just to admire it.
Yeah.
To go to the meeting room.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Let's go for it, why not?
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Ooh.
How can we find them? Bottom text. You didn't need to put bottom text, but that's fine. Small floating objects had appeared across the office. We have to synergize our resources to ensure the retrieval. There are many questions. There was no memo for management. Agenda. How can you tell you've spotted one? Makes them float in the air. Who took these pictures of them? This is extremely item label, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
Figlies are hard to find. That's what they're called. Follow clues implied by 416. We can do it, Red Room. By employee 416. Thank you. Good luck. Okay. 416. There will be a reward for finding them all. Lies! Stop kidding yourselves. I want them so much. I want to go home. There will be cleaning of this wall required. Well, looks like 427. Ha 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 ha. 5 there be. Just take it from me. Gotta collect them all. Ooh, okay, so they tell you where they are. A large room, lots of boxes. Some were both red and blue. Is this some kind of game? There must be a point to this. This is cool.
Yeah. Left 4 Dead wall writings.
Yeah. Warehouse access plan. Produce 1 plank to allow ease of access past fence. Construct bridge to allow collection of shiny float. Retrieve Chris's remains from warehouse floor. Construct new structurally sound bridge. We need more planks. Just like Everhood. I'm kidding. But it is kind of like Everhood. I think I need to restart.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Nothing from 416. But
When
that's
Stanley
fine.
came
I know
to
what
a
I'm
set
doing.
of 2 open doors. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business,
Wow.
Stanley took
Yes.
the first open door on his
Oh,
left.
yeah.
This room.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Still look for some wooden planks next to a stack of boxes. Here's a stack of boxes.
There's a wooden plank.
Another wooden plank. It doesn't seem long enough though.
Well, didn't you just walk on top of the boxes?
Yeah, but oh boy. Should I have taken the bucket?
Oh, did you take the bucket from the
Oh,
other
they're
one?
already set up.
Mmm.
How do I get there?
Well, I'd imagine you walk on the plank onto the boxes, then onto the fence.
Ooh. I didn't think I could make the jump. I didn't think I could jump.
Yeah.
It kind of auto jumped for me. Hey.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the
Figly
first
is good
one,
enough.
And then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it.
Uh-huh.
We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them. And now we have them all.
Wow.
You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
Alright.
Mm-hmm.
If I jump from here, will I die?
Wait, hold on. Is that a passageway?
Where, down
Event? Yeah, like if you go backwards from the wooden planks.
there? Oh. What the heck? What the heck? What does it say? I can't read that. I like that.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you?
You
What a
could be.
silly explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording?
It'd be funny.
It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory.
Oh,
I bet
you
each
have
and
no
every
idea.
time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights.
No, I
How
understand.
much more exciting you must find
We're
the
more
world
than
the
that, I
rest of us
know.
do. Now I've become sad.
Don't
Look
be
what
sad.
you've done to me. This is
It's
all your
you always
fault.
blame it on me. Okay? Don't do this shit. Whatever.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Hi,
Look,
planks.
Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off
How
on the
is
wrong
those
foot
planks?
here.
How are those
I'm
planks
not your
staying
enemy,
structurally
really,
sound?
I'm not. I realize that
Nailed.
investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been
Would
about
you like
nothing but
another
you
nail?
all this time. There's someone you can but his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him
Oh
what
my
to do,
God.
Stanley
didn't mean to
leapt
do
from the
that.
platform and plunged to his death.
mean to do
Good
that.
job, Stanley.
I'm
Everyone thinks you're very
sorry!
powerful.
Ow! I didn't mean to jump that early! What?
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment
Like
of
from Danganronpa?
1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct?
Yes.
Excellent. Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
Alright, great.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions.
Okay, this
it's
time I'll
incredible
do
he
it
wasn't
properly.
fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. And there it is, the last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment.
Wow.
This is doing something just for the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward. And I can't have that.
Of course.
So, instead, I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines. Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped.
Okay.
And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
This isn't part of it. I just want to experience this again.
Okay.
Not the bad part. I just want to have happiness
What do we
for its
want?
own reward.
What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's
You
beautiful.
clearly Peng
If we
clearly
just stay
underestimates
right
our
here,
ability to
right
pad
in
for
this
time.
moment with this
To what?
place, Stanley,
Our ability
I
to
think
pad
I
for time.
feel
Yeah.
happy.
I mean, I just love this
I
room.
actually feel happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is beautiful. This is how I remember like early childhood, very fuzzy like this. Just like shapes and colors.
Yeah.
What's your earliest memory?
Being at Disneyland and being afraid of the mascots.
Mine was also at an amusement park.
Hmm.
I was not like a big one like Disney, but I was at like a local amusement park, and it was like sunset, and the sky was really pretty, and I'd like fallen asleep in the stroller, and my grandparents were with us.
Ooh.
It was very nice. It was like one of those moments that like if I had it now, I would have it, and I'd be like, wow, I'm gonna remember this for a long time because it's like a very happy moment, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Cherry's earliest memory was laying down in a crib and waving my arms around in the air. It was like the middle of the night, and then my mom wanted to pick me up out of the crib, and the memory ends there.
That is a little far back.
Yeah.
That's pretty old school.
I don't know if that's my earliest memory. I also have a very early memory of being in my bed when I was like a toddler. But I don't remember how old I was when I was in the amusement park memory, so I can't tell which one is earlier than the other.
Yeah.
This is beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying this.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a memory you have that makes you just purely happy.
Well, the first one that comes to mind, I think you know.
I don't.
When I saw you for the first time in person.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, what the one I was gonna say was?
What?
It was also from when you came to visit the first time. It's the only part of the trip that I don't have any, like, photographic memory of. Because I specifically didn't take my phone with me. I didn't want to, like, ruin the moment. I just wanted to be there. It was when we were, at the beach. And it was, like, sunset. And I just, like, got to stand with you. And, like, our feet were in the water. And it was, like, the perfect temperature. And I just got to, like, stand next to you and, like, rest my head on your shoulder. And I was like, this is, like, the happiest I've ever been in my life. I was like, this is so fucking romantic and cheesy, and I love it. And I do kind of wish I had taken more pictures of you, like, at that time of day, but, yeah.
Yeah.
We, I will cherish that memory. Anyway, now that I've been sappy on stream, Peng says it's the perfect moment to hydrate, and I was just thinking I would get a snack, so...
Yeah, I think I'll go get a sack too.
Yeah, maybe I'll just AFK on this screen, and when we come back, I'll finish up. I don't know if finishing up, but I'll finish up this through line of content at least.
Yeah.
So we'll be back.
All right. Hello, everyone. Cherry decided to share. I think a big one is going into Angie's Neverhood stream for the first time and meeting everyone and just being able to talk about everything I knew about Neverhood. It sounds silly, but it made me really happy, and it led me to meeting a bunch of really nice people and leaving behind the old gross people. Yeah. I think one of my happiest Andy stream moments is I don't know, a lot of the reactions to my prompts have been really nice. I think Mr. Puzzle, the reaction to Mr. Puzzle was one of my favorites though. Because that still is a song that I'll show to like other people.
Hi, sorry it took so long.
Oh. Yeah.
I
That's
was
okay.
trying to scoop ice cream and it just would not melt enough to scoop.
Yeah.
Cherry's writing paragraphs. What
Mhm.
paragraphs are you writing, Cherry?
Long incomprehensible ones. No.
Good.
This one about happy memories.
Alright. That's gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. We've been happy for too long.
Yeah.
Red, evil.
Mm-hmm.
Blood. No more balloons.
Yeah.
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines. Those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness?
No, but right after we
Yes, I know
saw
we're supposed
true
to be telling a
happiness.
story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines.
Alright,
Just one more time.
if you insist.
Mm-hmm.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find.
Well, we
sure,
would.
it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
Hey.
And here was a second Stanlerine. I'll be honest, back then I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6.
Yeah.
But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
Hold on, I'm scooping.
Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini stand? Can you remember?
Chat, do you remember?
Oh, sorry, I blurted it out.
Let's just go.
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here in the boss's bathroom. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything.
Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh, well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but
Super
it's
liminal.
here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
This was the fifth mini stand, and this one was really something special. It was in the warehouse. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
Oh my fucking god.
Oh my god!
Holy shit.
All it needs is unregistered hypercam 2 in the corner.
Yeah, yeah.
My god. Hi, Carpet. We're definitely winning.
Oh my fucking god.
Oh my god. He made the music. Best boy, the
Awesome.
narrator.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
Mm.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
Make sure you pick it up. Yeah.
And then there was no more. Because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, memory zone. No, none. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Is there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction.
All
See
right.
how that feels.
Whatever you say, boss.
Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the
I
most
wonder
distinct
why.
and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
Make sure you collect them. Ah, yeah.
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched? Yes, I love that video. Still
No, but
don't
really, where
remember
did we
the
find
pink
the
Stanley.
third one? I don't
Still
remember.
no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room. These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have neutered the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation.
Yeah.
Next one.
Extreme bathrooms.
Yeah.
This is pretty not extreme as far as bathrooms go.
Hmm. But the boss dreams of extreme.
That's true.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the Figlarines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
No figures.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past is. I want more. More memories. Oh, yes, the two doors.
Yeah.
Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
Yeah.
And before everything else, there was your office. Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember.
What?
I can remember.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm remembering something now.
Yeah.
I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy. And I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it.
Can you?
I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore.
Dude, you need a date
but he
so
truly
bad.
was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Let's get the speedrun achievement this time.
Stanley had never seen the office this
Wait.
brightly
There's a lot
lit.
more stuff
Was it
here.
a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
Should I take the bucket?
I don't know.
I don't trust that bucket anymore, I'm gonna be honest.
If you tried to kill us, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
No.
No.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Beautiful. We never did this. I'll do it
No.
another time.
Yeah.
Oh, the boxes
Okay, I
arrived.
think we all
that
know
we
the drill
ordered.
by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the
Oh,
keypad.
oh,
Stanley
okay.
pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
Mm-hmm.
And after all this time, I still don't remember the fucking password.
2845.
2845. I keep thinking it's 2854.
Mm.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers.
Wait.
The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on
I'm getting a
screen.
missive.
And Stanley, one of them,
I'm going in the wrong
eternally
direction.
monitored in this place
Oh.
where freedom meant nothing.
In fact, I need to do this. There we go. Epilogue.
Whoa.
But you know what I wonder? Before we do this, if I restart the game one more time, will there be anything else?
Mm-hmm.
So let me do that real quick. And there might not be anything, but I just want to see for sure.
Yeah.
Unable to sync. Steam was recently unable to sync your Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe saves with the Steam Cloud. If you play now, you may not have previous game progress, and you may permanently lose it? What?
What the fuck?
At such an integral point in the story? Hold on, cancel. Let me try again. Try it again. It's fine.
All right.
Let me see. Okay. Yeah, it opened fine that time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nothing. Dang.
All right. All right.
Alright, I was hoping that I would get a little something. But that's
Cool.
okay. This is another something. Let me adjust the window and then we can. Many, many years later. Oh, we're back here. Walk towards the sun. Oh, it's the desert.
it's the desert.
I love this music.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh. This is just like Everhood. I was gonna say that, and then I was like, no, I shouldn't. Dust chairs.
Mm.
We're in the desert right after I had dessert.
Yeah.
Pretty good. It's pretty fitting. This is really pretty.
Mm.
I made it back.
Mm.
You wanna take that one again, Jerry? It's the fun.
Yeah.
What's this? Cookie Nine's blog! Oh my god! Review the
God.
Stanley Parable 2. First on April 27th. Like so many, I enjoyed my time with the original Stanley Parable, which underscores how truly disappointed I am with its sequel. Where the first game teamed with originality, the Stanley Parable 2 is dull, uninspired, and often insulting to its fan base. Rather than expand on what made the first game rather enjoyable, the sequel veers off into territory nobody asked for. An infinitely deep hole? Who cares? Where are the new endings? What about enjoyable bits from the Stanley Parable 1, like the adventure line? Instead, we get an uninspired side quest collecting figurines. Even this diversion feels incomplete. Collecting all the figurines gives you nothing. I must say, though, I found the bucket to be quite comforting. A welcome reprieve. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry. Is that username Piss Order? Piss Order 0999?
Yeah, piss order 99099.
What is that? Cat dog. Oh, I did that by accident.
Uh-oh.
I just wanted them to become friends. I just thought it's fine. I've furthered science. It's alright. It's normal. What's this? Is this anything? Or... No, that's where I came from. Okay.
Mm.
Stanley Parable developers. No more spin-offs, no more sequels. When the Stanley Parable launched to massive success in 2013, its creators made plans to build the property into an entire franchise. But a disastrous critical and commercial reception to the Stanley Parable 2 has prompted the developers to rethink their ambitions, as outlined in a press release they published today. It's clear that more Stanley Parable is just not what the fans want, reads the press release. We thought that we had a vision for the series that players would be excited about, yet it turns out this could not have been farther from the truth. The press release goes on to promise to preserve the artistic integrity of the original game, and to stop assaulting fans with our reckless and insulting creative visions. The word sorry appears more than 25 times in the press release. My goodness. What's this? Oh, name buttons.
Jim.
I never finished that part.
Yeah.
Jesse wants to be let out. Hold on. She was disturbed by the cat-dog relationship. I understand.
Yeah.
I'll let you go. Here you go. You guys know, that game, Please Don't Touch Anything?
Yes.
And the Stanley Parable Easter egg in there?
Yeah.
I think about that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know, basically there's a part in the game, there's like an ending in the game. It's also a very like contained meta narrative game, where it's like you fuck with shit and stuff happens sometimes. But one of the endings involves you pressing a bunch of buttons, and if you do all the buttons in a certain amount of time, then it says congratulations, you got the job, Stanley.
Yeah.
Jim.
I really hope one of these is like Stacy.
Mm-hmm.
Jim, Stanley,
Holy shit.
Jim, Stanley.
What's this? What the hell's going on here?
I don't know.
This has got to be like developers.
Yeah.
I did predict it.
Mm-hmm. You did.
It looks like an NFT. Oh, it's the collectibles. There's 8 now instead of 6.
Mm.
Hello again. Hi. How are you? It's nice to see you. It is nice to see you. It's nice that both of us are seeing each other.
Mm-hmm.
But it's terrible to learn that there will never be another Stanley Parable game. Did you read what the developer said? Preserve the integrity of the franchise. What nonsense. The Stanley Parable is not sacred. We do not need to protect it. You and me together. Yeah. Screw the legacy. Let's keep making Stanley Parable games until the sun explodes. Let's run this franchise into the ground. Let's drag it through the mud and back. And if people hate it, who cares? You see, that was the narrator's problem. He was so obsessed with what people thought of his work. Don't make his mistake. Don't cling to the legacy. Let it burn. It's not hard. In fact, let me show you. Together, we are going to make the Stanley Parable 3. It's simple. All we do is change the number in the game's title screen. We also need a really dumb subtitle for the game, including something loud and gaudy. Go ahead, try combining some random words together to make a new title for our game. Oh my god.
What about this? The Stanley Parable 3 lawsuit.
The Stanley Parable 3, Lord of the... Oh, I have to click the first one first. Well, we were talking about skeletons. And I just had ice cream.
Okay.
The Stanley Parable 3, Skeleton Ice Cream. It's absurd, I love it. Every time you restart the game, we'll advance the number of the sequel by 1, and then we'll pick a new subtitle. That way the Stanley Parable will never end. And nothing in the game itself will change when you do this either. Adding more content sounds like work. No need to do that. It'll just be the same content, recycled again and again and again with a new title screen. What do you say? Should we go forward with this plan? I'd like it, but I want you to have a say as well. Here's the thing. I want to support you, because I want to be your friend, and I value you as a person, or as text on black screen. But I do value you as whatever you are, whatever existence that you carry. But I already got my title screen kind of changed irreversibly, and I'm not a big fan of it, and I'm not sure if I'm going to enjoy having it changed every time I mean, I guess if I hate it the next time, it'll be different.
Yeah, exactly.
And I do like this shtick when when it happens in Trivia Murder Party, so... We'll see now I've talked myself into a circle. Ah, fuck it, let's do it. Good, then it's agreed. A new sequel every time you start the game. And you know what? Since you've put faith into my idea, I feel like giving you something as well. You see, I'm noticing... am I, like, predicting shit? I was about to make a joke. I was like, oh, is it the test achievement? And then I was like, no, that's stupid. They're not gonna... I'm noticing that the narrator never found a way to give you that broken achievement, did he? Of course not. I wouldn't expect him to know how. It's been bothering me. Let's fix it. Alright, there. The achievement machine is all fixed. See? I'm on your side. We're in this together. I suddenly don't trust you for saying that.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep this train rolling. The Stanley Parable cannot end. It can only spiral in and on itself forever. I must keep the wheel turning. I'm ready. Are you ready? Great. There's only one last thing we need to do. Please enter the current... Okay. I won't be anal about it. I'm just gonna go.
Yeah.
This is just like Uzumaki, is it?
Uzumaki?
Oh, because it spirals in on itself. Thank you. Please enjoy the Stanley Parable.
That's better. I like that.
Whoa!
What the fuck?
Oh my god! Is there more? I genuinely don't know.
Oh, it's the same card. Oh my god.
Hold on, I'm skimming IGN. This won't actually change the game in any huge way, but will allow you to access the new content door in subsequent playthroughs, letting you re-enter the Stanley Parable 2 Expo. This mysterious individual will also fix the broken achievement machine, allowing you to get it the next time you visit. You also get treated to a new title screen with more that you can choose when you boot up the game next time. Seems like that's kind of the final ending. I mean, we haven't seen all the endings that you could possibly get, but that seems like... Which is weird because the original game never had, like, an ending. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
Alright, well, let's get that achievement.
Yeah.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, the new content door. I miss you. Hang.
What?
World famous Key and Peele's Desert Bus.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2. Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Here we go.
Can we do the bomb countdown before we end? Is that the one where you get to like the
Now,
very
here's
end and then
something
press the
special.
wrong button?
You remember that
You press
broken
on
tested
instead.
charm
Yeah.
that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that.
Alright, I'm gonna pull as hard as I can.
Do it.
Yeah!
As you can see,
Aw.
the machine is not working yet since... What?
I got
Wait,
it on the
what
bottom
in the
right.
holy hell is going on? You got
There's
the
like the
achievement.
missing texture picture.
Why did the machine work? Stanley, I didn't fix it. I didn't do anything to it. I swear, it was broken just a second ago. Who fixed it? Is someone here? Are we being watched?
No.
Oh, God. Composure, composure. What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
I'd like to do the infinite hole again, but I'm not gonna do it on stream.
Yeah.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Let's try to
Stanley
speed
decided
run
to go
it,
to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
because that's an achievement.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
What's the password again?
2845.
Alright.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Let me through.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
The time limit is 4 minutes and 22 seconds. I don't know why that number specifically, but that's what it said on the achievement, so.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee.
Hurry it up, narrator man.
Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so
We're on
many
a time
individuals
limit.
reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was
Never.
unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided...
Jesus. It's really loud.
Yeah. That's dynamic range for you.
Blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, Even as the immense door slowly opened,
Could open faster.
Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel.
This
Whatever
monologue
life he
alone is like
lives,
2
it
minutes.
will be his.
Yeah.
And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley
I've been
felt
more
the
stressed
cold
looking at a
breeze
meadow in my life.
Yeah.
the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Boys, I don't think we got it. I think it was because I had to listen to that new age music.
Mm.
Damn. Damn. It's alright.
Yeah.
You missed a time save. You stubbed your toe on the big door. Ah!
No. Wow.
Let me go on Steam and see what my achievements are like. Let's see. Okay. Well, today's Tuesday, but commitment is play the Stanley Parable for the entire duration of a Tuesday. So unless I want to fuck with my clock, I can't get that now. There's also 88888, which I'm guessing now is just press 8 on the password a bunch.
I believe there's a little bit more to that. I forgot what the steps were, but
Speedrun is 4 minutes 22 seconds, which I didn't get. Settings World Champion. Set all setting sliders in the menu to all the available numbers, and then super go outside. Let's try the settings thing, because I'm at liberty to do that. God, every single one. Oh my god. Does it count if I just do that? Do I need to go to each individual one? I don't remember what it was originally. That's okay, we can reset it. Love the sounds in this game.
The story of a man named Stan.
oh, that's what that was.
This is the story of a man.
Wait, hold on.
This is the story.
Hold on, I'm trying to...
This is the story.
There we go.
There we go.
I was trying to get him to say sus. Oh, we did this. I don't want to do this.
Wait, did you go through all the resolutions?
Okay, now we have to have. If you mute narrator, he's just screaming the whole time, you just can't see him. Do I really have to... Hold on, let me reread this description. Set all sliding sliders in the menu to all the available numbers. So I assume I actually have to do that.
Only sliders, by the way.
Yeah. Can I... There we go, that's easier. Instead of just dragging. This is so silly.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah? What?
That's so many.
It's fine. Why isn't it? There we go. So how was your day?
Exhausting.
Specifically because of this. That's like at least 3 numbers. Oh, I don't need to. I can just hold it down, I guess. I don't know. I feel like holding it down is like dragging.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. This is the story of a man named
Oh, you don't
Stanley.
continue. It's just
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
slowly fading away.
This is the story.
I can just drag it. I don't know what I'm doing.
Of a man named
He's walking away from you. He hates you.
Reciting this favorite phrase over and over again.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
He wants to make sure that when he has to say it again, he gets it right.
It's his vocal stem. Of course. Typing's getting further away too. Stanley's walking away. No! Stanley!
No. These are not sliders, so don't worry
Yeah, I know.
about them. And these are not sliders either. So
Did I do it? I didn't do it. Because it didn't say. I didn't. Now my settings are goofed up. Oh, there's more settings down here.
Make sure you go all the way to 100.
Oh, did I not do that?
Yeah, it didn't seem like it.
Okay. Stanley, bring your keyboard back here, mister. You're in big trouble. This is such a silly achievement.
Yeah.
But also, when have all of them not been just very silly achievements? Did I do it? There's no other sliders. Why am I not getting it? Ow. Whatever. Use the double finger keyboard method maximum settings power. I already finished it. I already did what I needed to do. Hey. Thank y'all for coming to the stream.
Yeah.
What do you think of Stanley Parable 3?
A little underwhelmed, but it was still good.
Yeah. What about Stanley Parable 2? What do you think of that?
Stanley Parable 2, I get the Hitchcockian direction that they were going in, but I just personally thought they would have benefited from a Fellini-esque production.
That's true.
That's the most film person I've ever think of is that. I'm not a film person.
Yeah. Okay, gamers.
Stanley Parable 1.5 was a little dry,
Really?
but you know.
I mean, support remake in Unity. What'd you expect? I expected life-changing results. I don't know what the fuck you wanted me to, like, I don't know what other answer you expected. Sorry.
For a port/remake, it's the best port/remake I've ever seen.
Next stream we should, well, we should play Absolutely a True Crime Story. Do you know that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. It's made by the same guy who made Stanley Parable and the Beginner's Guide.
Yes, yeah.
So, and if you haven't played the Beginner's Guide, and it's an extremely sad game. I watched Markiplier play it, and I was like, Jesus Christ.
I played it myself, and it
Oh my
fucked me
God.
up.
I can't imagine being on my own and experiencing that. My goodness.
Yeah.
Well, I suggest you all brush up on your lore of this developer's games, and then we will maybe next stream we'll stick around and play. I mean, Absolute True Crime Story is like a 20-minute game, but we'll do some silly stuff next stream probably.
Yeah.
Follow me on Twitter, join my Discord, and find me on the Clock app. Anything else you want to say?
Yeah. Nothing much, no.
No? Oh, Faction put out a new album today. Go listen to it.
I did.
Yeah, do that.
It's called I Can't Sleep.
Yeah, it's a good album. Okay, that's all I have to say. I love you, and good night.
Good night.
Good night.